Hey ho, good morning, birds. How we doing today? Well, it's a little bit later in the morning today, and got a lot to talk about. Great tournament this weekend in the Genesis Invitational. Um, the second, third designated event this year, and it was exciting. It was There were a ton of storylines. There were a ton of people in the running in the hunt. Um, just to kind of recap, it seemingly was the first 2 days, the day of Tiger. Everybody and their mother and their brother were watching Tiger as he looked to make the cut, and it got a little shaky there over the first 2 days. He ended up making the cut right on the number. Kind of fell out during the weekend, but first 2 days really they belonged to him. Everybody else kind of took a back seat, even though there was some great golf being played. Max Homa came out and played really hot. Your standard John Rahm was there for the first 2 days. Keith Mitchell, not out of nowhere, but played some really good golf, and it was great to see him, in the hunt and into the weekend. So it was a long, seemingly long tournament, long weekend. I spent much of my weekend and a couple of the weekdays watching and kind of picking up on these storylines that were happening. Um, there was there was no bigger story than Tiger coming out and playing his first PGA Tour event since 2020, a um, other than a major. It was electric. People were out there. There were, it almost seemed to rival the Phoenix Open. Maybe not in rowdiness, but in people that were just there and passing through the gate. You saw people in tiger dress all over the place. And the crowd was, I wouldn't say docile, but they were definitely a little toned down from the Phoenix Open. That's just to be known. That's just natural. Um, but ton of people there in support of a lot of the golfers. Not only Tiger, Max Homa had a huge following, and it turned out, he was a little emotional about not being able to win in front of them, win this tournament again in front of them. But he's playing some great golf, and unfortunately, he's only fell short to the two tops in the world golfers over the past 2 weeks, and also, pre that he was playing some of the best golf on the PGA Tour. So it's going to be fun to watch as we progress through the rest of the season and see how this can be done. So, um, as most of you may know, John Rahm took a grip of the tournament in round three, 15 under to Max Homa's 12. Ended up kind of relinquishing that in round four. Homa came on so close to getting after him, but John Rahm, who seemingly once he gets leads, he might let go of them, but he won't. He won't lose them. He won't ever fully lose them. And I missed some of the end of the tournament on Sunday, but he did lose because I actually ended up golfing here in Illinois. It was great, but I digress. So he did lose the lead to Max Homa for a little bit. Lost it by 1, 2 shots at a time, I think, and then just came back and slammed the door shut. Ended up 17 under. Max Homa finishing second at 15 under. Other notable names at the top. Patrick Cantlay had an absolute weekend. I mean, 68-67, 68-67 for him. That's a big tournament for him to kind of say, hey, listen, I'm here. I'm going to be around. I'm going to play my best golf when it matters. And that was a huge thing for him. Willie Zal, finishing at 13 under and a solo fourth, shooting a 64 on the final day. It's good to see him back and saying the same thing as Patrick Cantlay after Will Zalatoris' injury, his back injury. It seemingly is kind of gone away, you would think, or maybe this was just a stroke of lightning that he needs to get back on. Keith Mitchell solo fifth, Sahith Tagala T6 with Morikawa, Kuchar, Day again playing some unbelievable golf. It's so good to see him back. I hope he can stay healthy. 65 the final day to get him 9 under a T9 and down the road. Saw some other great names on top that we haven't seen in a while. Danny Willett was around there for a little bit. He got up there. Victor Hovland didn't have as strong as the first 2 days or a strong finish, but he was around, got a top 20 finish. Rory, my guy, I'm hoping that these are just two events he had to play because they're designated and he's not used to it or hasn't always been to them and he's just getting started. But the adjustment to the PGA Tour has been a little bit, has taken a little bit for Rory. His driver was, I think the theme of the first couple of days was Tiger was just absolutely pounding the ball in their group, and he was out driving Rory and Justin Thomas. And Rory ended up making a switch. He made a switch in drivers because he was sick and tired of being outdriven, which I don't know. I don't know if it's the smartest decision. I don't know if it's his, he felt most comfortable with it. Who knows? It certainly didn't reflect in any huge changes, but I mean, a 67, 69, 73, 71 is not going to win any tournaments unless it's the U.S. Open and it's playing ridiculously hard. So those were two others. Ricky Fowler, another T20. He's climbing. He's in the top 20, I believe now. But this tournament was 100%. It was Jon Rahm's yet again. Jon Rahm is, as Max Homa called him, right now he is Thanos. He is the Thanos of the golf community. Stopping him is going to be seemingly inevitable. Well, he's Jon Rahm in tournaments. Sorry, is inevitable. He is going, whenever he laces them up, is going to be there. And he's going to be near the top of the leaderboard. He is going to be either playing with the lead or right behind it and trying to catch somebody. So he really it's just amazing golf. It's amazing golf. Your world number one, former world number one, I should say, was an 8 under. But not enough to hold on to his world number one status. Jon Rahm is now your OWGR world number one finally after just so much great effort this season. There's not much to say other than just extreme calm and steadiness for him. I think he was a little mad at the Waste Management last week when he didn't pull it out and just never really got going in that final round to catch Scottie Scheffler. But this one, he really, the first 2 days, played steady as hell. Third day, when you have to go out, move, and be there and make a statement, he did. He stayed steady, shot in the third round, shot a 65, said, this is my tournament, I'm taking it, and went out there and did just that. Had some great recoveries, great putting. I think tee to green, he was near the top of the field yet again. Tiger gave him the ultimate compliment that he does not take what this guy is doing lightly. And nor should any of us. You should go and watch what Jon Rahm is doing every week and every weekend that he laces up his shoes and gets on the golf course, because it's something to behold. It is similar to Scottie Scheffler's the beginning of last year, and let's just hope that Jon Rahm can hold it into into the major season when it gets up and gets going, because he's going to be. I find it hard to believe that he is not going to be the favorite, at least for the Masters to start off, unless Scotty Scheffler starts playing some unbelievable golf in these designated fields over the next couple of, well, I guess you could say few weeks, because we're only about 4 to 6 weeks away from talking about Augusta and getting ready for that. Everything is going to move fairly quickly here. Um, I want to just take a second and talk about Max Homa and the emotions that he exuded after the round on Sunday. This tournament means a lot to him. You know, he's only I think he grew up an hour away from Riviera. He had a lot of family, he had a lot of friends there. He wants to win in front of them, but I also think he just wants to win every time he laces them up, and it's hard for him to see when he's playing such good golf another person that's just above him. Um, and we'll see if this becomes a 2v2 battle, or I'm sorry, a 1v1 battle, or if it's a trade off, or what it may be. But I hope these guys are competing this entire season. But there's a lot of people out there. It's deep. It's deep. That's the one thing that I can say is right now the tour is deep, deep with a lot of talent, deep with a lot of young, hungry guys that are looking to prove themselves, go after this money that is now there. I mean, John Rahm just won 3.4 million, and Max Homa 1.6, and that's more than Max. That's Max Homa, other than the FedEx Cup finishers. That's his highest purse that he's ever got, more than any of his wins, more than anything else other than his FedEx Cup finishes. And that's great. That's great to see. Obviously, the pushback from Liv and getting the PGA Tour TV deal, that really has helped to grow these tournaments to make them what they are, with these just unbelievable fields. You had all of the top guys out there. You had guys who you had an alternate list that was crazy. Let me read you some of these names. I didn't even touch on this before. The alternate list for, let's see here. Alternate list. You had guys like Ben Griffin playing some great golf, Tyson Alexander, Kevin Yu, Robbie Shelton, my guy Garrick Higo, Will Gordon, Ben On, Aaron Baddeley, who they've been all battling. Like, Ben Griffin's 44 on the FedEx Cup tour list, the FedEx Cup rank list. He just unfortunately doesn't have as much exemption as the other players that are out there. Doesn't have a win yet, but that's crazy for me to see that was an alternate list, and those are some of the top guys, or the higher ranked guys in our picks. You'll see our picks for the upcoming Honda probably tomorrow, and we'll give you the insider vision for that. It's definitely a dulled down field for the Honda, but that just speaks to how much these designated events are really going to bring out these awesome fields and it's going to be great for the fans. It's going to be great for golf. Everyone wants to see it. We take a week off with the Honda, and then we go into Bay Hill, which will be another designated event. So I'm gonna right now pull up a little bit of the Two Birds fantasy picks to show you guys what happened at the end of there. And if you remember, it was Scott and I were having a conversation. We had our conversation sharing our picks for this tournament. Scott, yet again, just absolutely dominating the field. Only got me by 28 points, and I'm ready to hit the ground running. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Scott. It's inevitable. I'm gonna be Thanos of these picks. You're not going to be able to hide anywhere. I'm coming for you. You better watch out because it's gonna be like just an absolute changing of the guard before you know it. You blink and you're gonna miss me, and I'm gonna be 10 miles past you. Probably not, but I gotta stir up some controversy somewhere. Um, so my pick last week, we were when we were talking. I'd have to. I totally forgot what Scott said, but my pick was Max Homa, and I did lay a good amount of money on him to finish top 10. It paid out huge. I'm not huge, but plus 200 seemed like a guarantee to me. Put it down, write it down, take a picture, send it to him. It would have been nicer to have him at a top 5, but still, look out. We'll make some picks. Actually, I do remember Scott said a little bit. Scott said Justin Thomas thought he was going to play well. It's weird to see Justin Thomas. I think he had fun playing the first 2 days with Tiger and Rory, but hasn't come out with the fire that we would like to see Justin Thomas come out with. He really just kind of is there. It's like it's kind of, and I pardon me for saying this, but it's kind of meh. It's just okay. He's here. He's playing. I mean, T20, great. Got probably paid in the 6 figures potentially, more than likely the 5, but 69 on the weekend ain't gonna write anything home. But a 73 on the second day after 68 puts you in jeopardy of missing the cut, and you got no fire. You got no drive. He's right now 64th on the FedEx Cup rankings. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see. I feel like he will turn it on at some point, but it doesn't. It just doesn't feel right now that he's got the gear to go out and absolutely win a golf tournament. Now he'd probably argue with me to death on that. Not that I'm arguing or I'm getting conversations with anybody in the golf community, but it's tough to see. I really hope he turns it on. I really hope he gets it going because he's a person that is great for the golf community, and great for just youth, all of that, all of those words. So I'm getting together the Two Birds picks right now for you guys so I can resize the screen and put it in here. So we had Wiggy had a tough week. It's unfortunate because he's our resident how do I say this? Our resident pick expert, and he's slowly going to be getting lapped by Scott and I if we really turn this on. Now this is going to be. Whoops. Here we go. Let me put that up there for you guys. This week I wouldn't say it's going to be a layoff, but it is definitely a little bit of, I mean, it's not an elevated event. We go back to regular points. You want to have cut makers for upcoming, but here's where we are. Xander making a cut. 3 missed cuts killed this week. The double points really need to, you got to pick the winner. You got to have some guys that either lead a round or have the low round of the tournament. You saw that in Willie Zal coming out and doing that on the final day. You had 64 being the lowest round of the tournament, really opened it up for a lot of people. You had Homa, Mitchell, McCarthy, Zalatoris all hitting that low round of the tournament, got their ×2 on that. Sam Burns was a disappointment. Hideki, disappointment. Matt Fitzpatrick, disappointment, of all missing the cut. All great guys. Adam Scott was around for a little bit. for both of us, for all four of us, and then kind of disappeared on the weekend. Had a tough weekend, um, but it happens. Wyndham Clark making a cut, but Wiggy could unfortunately not stay above the stay above the negatives last week. So I I know it's easy to say that I had Max Homa, and I did because I picked him on the show to really go out and win it, but I had to have two of the top guys. Having a week off with the way that we're doing and not being able to pick the same guys 2 weeks in a row, having a week off next week, you really just had to pick the two top guys that were going to be in the field, especially Scotty Scheffler coming off a win. He had a T6 the year before in this tournament. Thought he would have just absolutely turned on the jets and competed with John Rahm, but John Rahm was a speedboat in a paddle boat race apparently. Uh, Man, Jordan's disappointing right now. T6, it feels like it's a roller coaster. It's an up and down with him. T6 and then right back to a miscut. Dude's got to turn it on. Him and Justin, we want to see that. Obviously, that was the full swing pairing show, but those two, they're so great for the game, and I hope they just find a way. Matt Fitzpatrick got to figure it out before the majors, man. He's a talent that really can come and shine, but man, if he does not figure it out before the majors, it could be a very long season for him, and um, I hope it's not. Sam Ryder, just playing some good golf, was a cut maker. That's what we needed. Adam Scott already talked about. I really wish Scott didn't have John Rahm this week, but that's smart money. Smart money. You take the guy that's playing the hottest golf, and especially when he's not in the field this week, you have to take him. Keegan and Hideki both missing. We talked about Keegan, ball striker, playing really good golf. This was kind of out of the norm for him, missing the cut. I don't believe that he is playing this week, so next week is a chance for him to turn around. But he's still inside, I believe, the top 10 in the FedEx Cup points. So he's gonna need to keep that up. He's gonna need to play some good golf early on this season. Willie Zal, again, we talked about him a little bit. He hopefully is ready to just absolutely come back with a vengeance, continue his run in the majors. Kid played amazing in the majors that he has already been a part of, so we can only hope that he continues on and he's over that injury and it's not a nagging one that sticks around for a while. And then Adam Scott and Shane Lowry. Shane Lowry's in the field this week, so I'm sure he's going to be. Unfortunately, he's not eligible to be picked by Scott, but he's going to be a hot pick for a lot of people around the board. So look out for him. He could very well be the winner of the Honda Classic this weekend. I'm not going to look forward to it, but I will give you, since we'll probably do a preview show with Scott either tonight or tomorrow and get that up for you guys. Just some great things that I saw this weekend. Obviously, you've got your Tiger fan interaction. He was amazing. A little girl with getting a heart transplant had a sign up that said had check boxes to get a heart transplant and then meet Tiger Woods and then play Augusta. I'm sure after seeing that and how viral that will go, she will probably check all of those boxes. But Tiger was able to, interact with her a little bit and speak with her. I think he just maybe not speak, but probably got high five, gave her glove. Very cute, very great interaction. And then you also had the thing that everyone has been talking about, seemingly, and I don't know how much I could really say to the other things that have been said about this, but we had the now will be probably called the infamous tampon occurrence, where Tiger was out driving Rory and Justin and ended up, as they were walking down the fairway of a hole, handed discreetly a tampon to Justin Thomas as he outdrove him. Now, there are people out there that find that offensive, that, Tiger is a girl dad. He shouldn't be doing things like that or setting a bad example. It is what it is. Guys razz each other on the golf course. I'm sure women do as well. It's just what it is. It's that sort of relationship. I hope that everybody has those relationships in their lives, that they can certainly get on each other's backs and really, because that's how you connect. Sometimes having that relationship with somebody makes things not as stressful, makes things not as intense, and it really helps you yourself focus. I don't necessarily think that's what this intent was. It was simply someone razzing another person for outdriving him. Being a 47-year-old man and being able to have that humor for all that he has been through, I think it's just fine. I don't think he needs to be canceled or needs to apologize for what he did. For people that did find offense to it, yeah, it's okay to say that was probably a misstep. Probably a misstep. Maybe he could have done something in private, not where everything is seen, but where there's cameras everywhere nowadays, and how they focus in and how they really hone in on every little action that these people make. I'm sure anything can be captured at any time. So all I majorly have to say is, Tiger, just keep doing you. Play golf. Have fun. We hope you do. We don't want you to become dry. At the age that you are and the things that have happened to you, just continue on your way and do you. And what other people really hyperanalyze, that's their business. That's their opinion. Everyone can have their opinion and they're entitled to it. But just keep going. Not that anyone needed to really hear that. It's just how I see things, and I think it's healthy to have that sort of relationship on the golf course. Someone that you can razz. Hopefully, it's not at other people's expense, and if it is, it is right to apologize for that fact. But not feeling bad about what you did is the key. So that really caps the Genesis. It was a great tournament, great weekend for golf, and I hope we're heading into many more of them. I'm not going to pull up the final standings right now. I'll just tell you what they are, and then maybe put a little graphic up there for you so you can see them. I am ready to turn on the gas after 2 positive weeks. So right now, 56 for Andrew, 90 for Wiggy, and 369 for Scott. So he's well in command of this. I don't know if we're going to play a Puerto Rico and Arnold Palmer, a 2 event picks. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. But we'll definitely have back-to-back another designated event in the Arnold Palmer, the Players, which are back-to-back weeks, and then the World Golf Championships. Then, before we know it, we're at the Masters, guys. It's close. And also March Madness coming up. Can't wait for them. But on behalf of Two Birds, I thank you all. Thanks for being here, and we'll catch you later on the next Pregaming show. Peace.